Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm gonna be making a tier list. The date that this is uploaded has no correlation to anything. Nope. This is 100% serious tier list. Nope. Totally doesn't matter that it's April 1st. Alrighty. So let's just get right into it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the criteria. The criteria. The criteria is how I feel about them, how much I like them. It's not meta. Just how much. You know what? I'll also, how I personally feel. So it's a bit of a bias. Also, I guess how hard they make my PP. What? All right. Let's just get right into it. Oh wait, but first, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get rid of the trash tier list. I believe that I'm not gonna put anyone below mid. Honestly, I might even name this differently, but yeah. Okay, so at the bottom we've got mid. Pretty okay characters. I don't hate them, but I really don't like them that much. Then we've got B. Characters that they're growing on me. I really like them, but there's just something about them that they're just not that good. And then we've got amazing characters that I really like. I want to see more of. I really hope that they'd get more dialogue, or they're really important in the story, or I just like their kits, or they carried me early on. Stuff like that. And then we've got Triple S. We got the cream of the crop. Amazing characters. Really love them. I want to see more of them. I don't care. I want them to get buffs. I want them to be more in the lore. I want them to show up in the story. And then we got Goddess. I think, I'm most likely gonna only leave this for girls or female characters. And then we got we got Firefly. But hold on. All right. So let's start off. All right. Female version of the Trailblazer. I want to put her at the bottom of Triple S, but I also want to put her at the top of Amazing. I'd put her at the top of Amazing. All right. The male Trailblazer. I kind of want to put him below on mid, but I feel like I'm being too harsh. Hold on. Let's see how crowded B will get. I'm most likely gonna put everyone there. I highly doubt anyone's gonna be put on mid. Arlen. I want to put him in mid, but there's only one reason for that being, and that is we honestly have yet to see him at all. We saw him at the launch of the game, and then that's it. I saw like him being used in it's not even. It wasn't even called Divergent Universe. Oh my god, Simulated Universe. Early on, and then after that, I don't know. I guess Blade got released, and then people just stopped using him. Honestly, people didn't even use him early on. He was a basic 4-star. Nah, you know what? Nah, I can't do my boy Arlen like that. You know what? He'll pop off. He'll get a different version. He's a head security version. Oh yeah, I forgot. He's not even in Currency Wars. There's some 4-star characters that aren't even in there. Oh my god. Alright, Asta. Shoot. I was thinking putting her in Amazing, but the more I think about it, I'll put her at the bottom of Triple S. A very good character early on. I'd say one of the best Harmony characters early game, although there's technically only 3 of them. I mean, honestly, if you were to pick a Harmony character right now and what you'd want from them, I'd say ideally you'd want them to have whatever Asta's kit is. Although, maybe provide more. Yeah, because she provides an attack boost, a pretty decent attack boost. If there's a single target character or enemy, I said I'm not going to even scale them off their meta. She has a bounce, so if there's a single target enemy, you can just destroy their shields if they're the element that you are. She gives a pretty decent speed boost. Her ultimate's kind of good. I guess you can spam her ultimate, so you do have some action advance forward if you're using DDD. Also, she's rich. I guess she's in charge of the Herta space station. Although, just like Arlen, we haven't seen her much. Would say the last time we saw her was probably during 1.6. Actually, no, did we see her during when we were fighting Iron Tomb? Was she in charge of the Herta space station? Or that faction? I don't even know. Alright, next up we got Bailu. First, I think first ever healer I have. Pretty decent heals. What's in your prescription? I said I wasn't gonna take it long. I'm taking like 10 minutes so far. Bottom. You know what? We'll put her at the bottom of amazing. Oh, Bronya! My first goddess. Or the top of Triple S. I guess she's kind of a girl boss. Her mom died, so now she's an orphan. Actually, she was already an orphan. Put her at the top of Triple S. That's pretty simple. Alright, Clara. I'm kind of hesitant. Top of Amazing or bottom... Or wait, top of Amazing or bottom of Triple S? She is technically kind of... I guess a fake character. She's kind of like Elia, where she's an orphan, white hair, and has a big, summon. I would say that's where the similarities end. I'm hesitant. You know what? We'll put it at the bottom of S. Dong Kong. You know what? Top of amazing. That's all I have to say. Japard. Bottom of amazing. Alright, gotta kind of speed through this. Heard a robot version though. She's a robot. She's a clanker. Actually, the first ever robot we got. There's like 1,000 of them. I really do like her personality. Top of amazing or You know what? I put her at the bottom of Triple S just because she is technically used in pure fiction, kind of. Himiko, okay, actually kind of somewhat relevant in the story right now. She does have an Honkai Impact 3rd version, which sadly is dead. No. Actually, hold on. Maybe her SP, maybe her different versions will be in Goddess, but for right now... I don't know. I'm so hesitant on where to put her. I want to put her in a Triple S. I want to put her at the top. Actually, hold on. I'll put Clara. Top or... Okay, no. Not amazing. Somewhere in the top of Triple S. You know what? We'll put it right between Bronya. Alright, Hook. Honestly, the first ever 4-star I ever got. I was, I was kind of broke, I was starving. I'm not gonna lie. One of my first ever teams was Hook. That's how bad I was. Or I didn't even have any good characters. My first team was literally Hook, Bronya, Lynx, and then whatever flex I had at the time. That was literally my first team, like up until I got Topaz. I was starving. Oh my god. I couldn't even make it all the way to floor 12 on MLC. I was struggling just to make it a 9 or 10. Oh yeah, you know what? She's the leader of the moles. I guess for whatever reason, every time we have like a mini game event, she's always there. Oh yeah, she was part of the, I guess, first ever TCG event inside a TCG game, a turn-based game. I know we'll put her at the top of Claire. You know, I really did like her story. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's like one of the few 4-star characters that actually had a companion quest. And in that companion quest, it almost made you cry. There's multiple versions to it. Yeah, where she was celebrating her birthday with her dad, and then she sold her toy, and then her dad gave her a dollhouse. So she could play with her doll in the dollhouse, but then she got rid of the doll so she could buy a mining equipment, but he also sold the mining equipment, so you know, kind of sad if you think about it. All right, March. You know what? We'll put it at the top of amazing. All right, Nata. You know what? First ever goddess. I'm putting her there. She's the cream of the crop. First ever healer that you ever get. She's Raven from Honkai Impact the Third, which I kind of like. She's a nurse. I don't know. Really don't have much have to go on. But Pela, still somewhat relevant today. Can be used in Acheron teams. Uh, did kind of like her story. Actually, I did like her story. I feel like top of triple S is too much. Actually, she's friends with Lynx. You know what? I'll put her at the top above Himiko. Alrighty. Okay, QQ. Do I want? I don't want to put her in Goddess, but I don't also want to put her in Triple S. You know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make a new row. Wait, hold on. Alright, let's quickly do this. I don't know what to name this tier, though. I literally just made a new tier. Hold on. We'll name this... What's something between Goddess and Triple S? Triple S Square. You're not sure why not. No, we'll just name it Triple S times 2. I don't know why I did that. Actually, now I want to move some characters. Alright, there. I don't know why I just did that. Alright, Sampo. You know what? We'll put him below Triple S. I kind of liked him. He's, oh yeah, also another character that's also somewhat relevant in the story. I guess showed up in multiple planets. Except for, I guess, the Lafu. Yeah, he was in Penacony. Yeah, we recently saw him in Planet Arcadia. You know, he's part of the Masked Fools. I really like that. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Serval. Put her in double S. Alright, Susan. We'll put her at the bottom of triple S. You know what? She's got a giant chicken as her ultimate. She is another character from Honkai Impact the Third that got put into Star Rail. Although, like, different character overall. Alright, Ting Yun. The bottom of triple S times 2. Alright, Welt, our favorite grandpa. Doesn't even know what a meme is. Loves mechs. We'll probably get some time to shine in the future update to Planet Arcadia. I'm kind of hesitant. You know what? We'll put him at the top of... no, actually below Triple S. Alright, Xing Cho, or Yang Qing. Got bodied like 3 times. Lost every single one of his fights. I guess except for Luca. Although technically it was a draw. Actually, technically he let him win. So, still like... You know what? Let's just say it was a draw. So, like, 3-0. Or, wait, it's 0-3. He lost to Blade. He lost to Jinyan. He lost to a ghost. He got possessed by it. My boy's just taking back-to-back L's. I like his charm. Bottom of triple S. Alright, Sela. You know what? Put you right beside Bronya. You know what? Below Bronya. Why not? All right, Jin Yoon. I'm not gonna lie, kind of don't like him. I'm gonna be honest. Although, I do kind of like his personality. Kind of acts like a bum sometimes. I don't know. You know, bottom of S. All right, Silver Wolf. You know what? Bottom S probably doesn't take that many baths or showers, so probably smells. Actually, you know what? We'll put it at the top of triple S. All right, Locha. Also auto, kind of. We'll put him. He carries around a coffin, uses it as a weapon, so you know, kind of weird. Uh, I still have no idea if he's considered a good guy or a bad guy. Actually, wait, hold on. I think he's carrying a corpse of a. Wait, no, it's not a dead Eon. Wait, is it? Or is it the remains of a dead Eon? Or is he carrying a Stellaron? He's got beef with Welt. Actually, no, I think Welt's got beef with him. But it may be a different version of Otto. Actually, I don't even know. Uh, you know what? We'll put him at the bottom of Triple S. All right. Shoot, I forgot her name. Wait, who is this? Who is this? Wait, no, actually, who is this? Hold on. Oh my god, I actually forgot her name. Who is this? I'm not even joking. I actually have to search this up. Yukong. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually forgot about Yukong. You know what? Do really like her. I like her story. Also, one of the few characters to have a 4 stars to have a companion quest. She has a daughter, adopted daughter. I don't know why I just said that. You know what? We'll put her one of the few actual moms in the game. I don't know why I keep saying that. You know what? Top 2 of Triple S times 2. All right, Blade. Huh. Also gonna get a different version, kind of, you know. You know what? We'll put him above Arlen. Kind of too edgy for me. I'm not gonna lie. All right, Kafka. You know what? Miss Fortnite herself. You know what? I'm putting her in Goddess. You know what? Just because of that, yep. You know what? She goes in the Goddess state just because she's in Fortnite. All right, Luca. Has a robotic arm. Uh, also like, yeah, he was pretty early on. Oh my god, yeah, one of the few DOT characters. Oh my god, yeah, I'm just remembering when the DOT team was actually Kafka and then the rest were just 4 stars. Until we got Black Swan, Jesus. Uh you know what? We'll put him in amazing. I don't think anyone's gonna go. Actually, wait, hold on. I think we got our first mid. Dong Kong, shoot, I forgot what it was. Dong Kong what? Dong Kong what? I know there's Dong Kong PT. What is this? Dong Kong. I'm also searching this up. Embittered Lune. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Kinda don't like his outfit. Kinda don't like his color schemes. Although his color scheme's not too bad. Uh, you know what? I think it's just a dragon look. It just kind of just doesn't do it for me. I think it's too much. All right, we got okay. You know what, Fu Xuan, Top of Goddess, one of my first ever sustains. I still use her to this day. Really like her story. Really like her voice actor. Uh, I guess Oh yeah, she showed up during when we were fighting Iron Tomb. She is somewhat next up to be the next general of the Wafu. She's the head of the Divination Commission. Fu Pits. All right. Links. For other also again one of the first ever sustains I ever got. Uh, I want to say she's just a giant ice climber reference. I know one of her. Wait, hold on. Is she one of the achievement? Yeah, I think she's got an achievement that's literally just called Icebreaker. Although, or is it? Yeah, something like that. An explorer of Balabog, you know. I don't know how I would feel about my little sister just like exploring a planet that's full of monsters. And like, you know, probably temperatures that reach like below zero. Alrighty. We've got Miss Jing Yun. Wait. I said that right? Jing Lu. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Actually, I like her, but you know what? She didn't come home when I pulled for her. I did like 30 pulls for her on her banner. And she just didn't come home. I was also on a 50-50 at zero pity. I mean, like, what are the odds? Just because of that, you get right above Sampo. Alright, Topaz. More like... I'm not even gonna go there. Alright, this one's a little bit tricky. One of my first ever DPSs that I had. I actually used Topaz as a DPS when she came out. Again, I was struggling in the beginning of the game. Huh. I want to put her in Goddess, but I don't want to at the same time. At the same time, I want to put her at the top of Triple S, but at the same time, I don't feel like that's... Huh. You know what? Again, I don't know what the heck these tiers are. We're gonna add a new tier just for her. I think she's the only one gonna be here. We're gonna name her Numby. Actually, no. You know what? Why not? We'll do number one for whatever reason. Actually, wait, no. I feel like that's way too much. Dude, hold on. Uh, you know what? I got it. We'll name it God tier. All caps. Sure, why not? Alright. We got Gwenifin, or Gwenfei. However you say it. First ever live streamer in the game. Miss Performer herself. Does sword swallowing techniques. Stole one of Xingqiu's swords and just never gave it back, I guess. You know what? Bottom of Triple S. Hoo. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. You know what? Yeah, we'll have the entire ghost hunting squad in the same tier. Kind of together, though. Yep, alright, let's go with that. Okay, Argenti, Mr. Chad's... Or, yeah, Mr. Handsome himself. Follows Invilia. Although I think follows a fake version of her. One of the Knights of Beauty. Honestly, have yet to do his companion quest. I'm not gonna lie. I stopped doing companion quests after Luca's patch. So, like, up to that point, I have no idea. Showed up at Penacony, didn't have a voice. Then got a voice. And then, like, you know, it just never showed up afterwards. I don't know. I feel like he's too much. I feel like he's too much of a flamboyant. If that even means anything. Alright. You know what? Amazing. Alright. Hanea. You know what? Put it right below. Right below the glow squad. You know what? Yeah, why not? Alright, Ron May. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Kind of don't see what all the fuss is about. But I kind of do at the same time. We'll put her top 3. Actually, oh my god, I'm moving her down way too much. Uh, nah. You know what? She got a new outfit. She gets brownie points for that. All right, ratio. First ever free 5-star we ever got was relevant for like a couple of months, and then like I guess single target just kind of died. Actually, no, he was using some face shot teams. Actually, the follow up team was kind of good when it was, I guess, at its maximum or at its most peak. I would say at its most peak would probably be when Robin or Venturine came out. That was like the core follow up units. Although I'm gonna be honest, I feel like around that time, like I don't know, single targets started suffering because you were just kind of screwed if there was like 2 enemies. Also, kind of screwed in like most single target MOCs because they would have like tortors. So you'd kind of have to like split up your damage, and yeah, you'd basically have to like one shot the tortors just so you could like benefit from it. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure like that's what I had to do. I didn't even have to focus on like the things that it summoned. Oh my god, yeah, like I remember when Dr. Ratio came out and also in Pure Fiction he was struggling. So I guess we're not going against meta. You know what? Top of amazing. All right. We've got another robot. Also forgot her name. One of the first ever Brave characters, kind of. Shin Yi Shu Yu. I don't know how to say this. I knew how to say her name. I know how to actually pronounce one of these characters' name, but I guess I just don't. All right. Jesus, we're almost in 2.0 and this video is already like 30 minutes long. I don't know. She has a blah personality, kind of. Actually, one of the first ever characters we ever saw, and she was like not released for like quite a bit. Uh, you know, we'll put her right beside Ron May. I kind of want to put her beside Hanea, but I do kind of find her story to be cool. Oh yeah, I really like the part where I guess during I forgot what it was. Was it Who's Companion Quest where we were fighting Cirrus? I forgot. That was her name, right? And like the Trailblazer was getting sucked up, and then she like threw chains at the ground, and then like threw chains at us, just so we can get so we couldn't get absorbed, and we were knocked out. One of the few times where we almost died, I guess. Damn, what would have happened if Cirrus actually absorbed us? All right, Black Swan. Uh, hmm. Uh, we'll put our top 4 of Triple S. I really like her, but not that much. I don't know. There's just something about her that's just not like I don't know, just not doing it for me. All right, Sparkle, our favorite terrorist, our favorite racist. Uh, you know, also I really don't like her that much. I love her, just not that much. Put her below Sampo. All right, Mika doesn't exist. Who is this? All right, okay. Uh, Mika's kind of like, oh yeah, he's kind of Makel, isn't he? So it's like kind of important to the entirety of Penacony. It doesn't exist technically. Also, does that Gallagher doesn't also exist. So that's kind of interesting, I guess. Uh, yeah, we saw him outside of Penacony, which makes no sense. But technically, we were inside of the dreamscape at that point, which I guess I'll put him below Pika, or Locha, a bottom of triple S. All right, Akron, you already know I gotta do this. Top of S, and don't even have to say anything. Just check one of my videos. All right, Aventurine, it's all or nothing. Our favorite gambler. You know what? We'll put him at the bottom of triple S. All right, Gallagher. Honestly, put him above Mika. All right, Robin. Our technically our first idol. Do I want to put her in God? I don't know. You know what? We'll put it at the bottom of triple S times 2. All right, Booth Hill. Honestly, also another robot. Uh, don't like him that much. Oh my god, B's just full of the boys. I guess B's meant for boys. All right, Firefly. Here we go. All right. You know what? If I was to name everything that Firefly, that I like about her in this video, this section of the video would be over 20 minutes long. So you already know what I gotta do. All right, moving on. Jade. You know what? Put her in God. I really like her. You know what? I don't understand the hate for Jade. I actually kind of like her. She has a pimp hat. She's kind of like a snake. I really like that about her. You know what? Technically, she gives you an out. You already know what you're getting into when you, I guess, make a deal with Jade. So like, technically, it's on you. Whether you face a or yeah, if you want to face the consequences or not. So do I. All right. Next up, we got Yoon Lee. Wait, hold on. I said that wrong, right? Yoon Lee. That's how you say it. Yoon Lee, right? Yeah, Yoon Lee. All right, Clara 2.0. Clara Max. Uh, Clara but cooler. You know what? I'll put her right below Clara. All right, Jock Show. Honestly, really kind of don't like him. Why do you have your eyes closed? Open them up. You're gonna run into something. All right, March 7th of the Hunt. Where the heck is March? Just regular March. All right, top 3 of amazing. You know what? Kind of not that bad in the free-to-play follow-up team. You know what was actually usable when she came out? Not gonna lie. Do I want her? Actually, we'll put her above Aventurine. All right, Fei Xiao. I do have her. Kind of don't like her that much. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put her at the top of amazing. All right. We've got Linksha up next. Alrighty. You know what? Do I want to put her in God? I don't know. I'm just making a tier list just for the fun of it. I guess the criteria is how I feel, how much I like them. Let's see. She's not the head of the Alchemy Commission, right? Or is she? Or wait, is she like? Dude, I forgot. I have no idea what the lore is of the Lafu or the Shincho. Yeah, because she's not technically part of the Lafu. She's part of another division of it, right? Something like that. There's a sky faring. Wait, no. Wait, why am I so hung up about this? You know what? We'll put her at the top of triple S times two. Alrighty, Moe's. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Kind of don't like him. I didn't. Okay, so yeah, I guess just like March 7th, the hunt was somewhat viable when I guess single target hunts were out. I guess technically is in Divergent Universe. Although, oh my god, I just realized, isn't most? Oh wait, no, it was rather Moe's or March 7th, the hunt, and that was our last 4-star character we ever got. And then I guess 4-star characters just died after that point. Uh, you know what? We'll put him at the top of amazing. All right, Rappa. Miss, it took me a year to get a rerun. Uh, the only break character that I have, that made no sense. I said character twice. The only break character I have, you know, we'll put her above Linksha. All right, Sunday. Oh my god, wait. No, wait. Actually, hold on. Oh my god, I actually really like Sunday. I'm not gonna lie. Is he God though? He kind of was technically at one point. Hold on. No, I'm not making another tier. Actually, you know what? Nah, my boy will pop off. You know what? We'll put him at the top of Triple S. You know what? If I was gonna make another tier, I'd make another tier. Wait, hold on. I know what to do. Alright, hold on. Alright, last tier I'm ever gonna make. Oh wait, shoot. Wait, hold on. Okay, so boom. That's that's my dog. He's probably alright. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I want a great color. Wait, no. Uh, nah. I feel like green. Nah. Blue. You know, yeah. Actually, let's make this a lighter blue. I think that's cyan. All right, Godhood. All right, there we go. That's the last tier I'm ever making, or the newest tier I'm ever making. All right. Okay, next up. All right, we're almost there. Honestly, I thought this video would take me an hour longer, although I did kind of skip through some of them. All right, we've got Foog. I'm not gonna lie, I like Tingyun more. I guess is somewhat relevant in the story right now. I guess did show up with Yai. I don't know. I feel like she's meant to be like what, the counter to Fantilia or something, but they just technically haven't done anything with her yet. Yeah, so like they showed, yeah, so I guess she got possessed by Fantilia like around the version of 1.3. Hopefully my dog will calm down here soon. Oh my. All right, so Okay. Yeah, okay, well I was saying, okay, so 1.3 came out, Foog died, they said she was possessed by Fantilia, you know. They technically did nothing with that for like almost over a year. Then like yeah, 2.8 came out right around the same time Sunday came out. We saw her again. We were like, "Oh my god, no way, she's alive." And then like, she went like somewhere. And then we didn't see her for like almost an entire year. And now we see her again with Yai. So, we'll most likely see something with her in like a year's time. Yeah. Uh so yeah, I feel like they just really don't do much with Foog. Or like they take way too long to do stuff with her. That I don't know, at this point I'm like just starting to lose interest every time. Like, we see her pop up. Like she died, she came back after a year. I feel like it's too long and it's too short. I guess Fantilia is like an emanator, so they don't want to like, you know, maybe they want to make Fantilia a playable character. Yeah, we didn't see her for more than a year and then she showed up in 4.0. So yeah, we saw Tingyun at 1.3 or whatever, she died. And then like a year or like more than a year, we saw her at the end of Penacony 2.8 around the same time Sunday came out. Uh she got offered to come back to the Lafu, but she didn't want to take it because she felt like she had a duty to like try go up against Fantilia. And then like a year later happened and we see her at the start of 4.0. It's like I don't know. I find it cool and interesting, but at the same time I feel like they're taking way too long. I don't. Okay, you know what? I went on for far too long for Foog. And technically, I think in the story she's no longer even called Foog. She's literally called Tingyun. So like, yeah. All right. Enough of that. All right, we got Herta. Big brain energy. Uh, carried me through the entirety of Amphorius. You know what? Oh, it's going pretty good, PB. Sorry for ignoring you last time. I was kind of I guess talking a bit. But hello, hello, welcome back. All right, third, big Herta, big brain energy. Honestly, at first, I had no idea why they made Herta like the beginning of like Anforius, even though we like saw her at the end of 4.0. But the more I think about it, I guess that made more sense. Cause yeah, we had Herta, and then we just had Anforius. A little bit of a break, and then Anforius, and then finished off Anforius. So I guess yeah. Now think about back on it, probably makes sense why they released Herta at the beginning of the patch. Cause yeah, we didn't even see Big Herta like until all the way in the end of 4.0. Yeah, because we started Anforius and like got introduced to every single one of the characters. All right, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. I'm hold on. Okay, so you know what? I wasn't gonna rate her higher than Small Herta, but at the same time, I don't know. She kind of popped off. The more I think about it, she popped off at the end of Amphorius. She was like one of the big contenders of the patch. She almost died, I'm pretty sure. Or she was willing to give up her life just so she could see what happens. You know what? Top three of Triple S times two. All right, Aglaya. Oh, I want to put you in Goddess, but at the same time, I pulled for you. I did like 50 pulls for you, so I'm a little salty about that. The Gold Weaver. Uh, I guess could predict the future. Uh, died. I don't know. I want to. I want to rate her high. But I don't know. There's just something about it that I just don't want to. You know what? We'll put her at the top of Triple S times two. You know, I feel like that's fair enough. She's high. She's not. Although I guess I wouldn't say she's like top 10 for me. All right, Tribios. Honestly, okay, I like Tribi. Somewhat actually starting to fall off in the meta. E1 Tribi carried me through the entirety of Emporius. Tribi was the Harmony character. She split herself up to 1,000 versions. Wasn't she? Wait, she was the maiden of Janalopolis or something like that. I don't know. At the same time, I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess she split up into like three characters: there's Trinan, Tribi, and Trinon. I already forgot which one's which already. I don't know. I like Tribios more than I like Tribi, if that makes sense. Like, I guess when she like before she split herself into 1,000 versions, why couldn't we have that? You know what? We're totally gonna get that version of her. All right, that's gonna be the next Amphorius character. I don't. I feel like I shouldn't rate that too low because of that. Actually, you know what? We'll put her in the middle of Triple S. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? She should have stayed dead. Honestly, yeah, Triple of S. You know, she's totally gonna get a different version. She'll totally pop off. She's gonna be our next Amphorius character. Watch. She's gonna revive Amphorius. She's single-handedly going to revive Amphorius. I guess she's also everyone's teacher. Yep. Alright, Mida. Honestly, just auto battle. Although it reminds me of Kratos. Uh can't die unless you stab them in the back. Ayo, what? Uh I don't know. I kind of don't like Mida's story. Actually, at the same time, no, that's not true. I actually like his story, but I don't know. Like he's said to be unkillable, yet he just died. Like, explain that to me. How can you be unkillable but die at the same time? He's in Triple S. You know what? I guess. Hmm. Okay, I liked his lore. You know, I liked how he killed his dad. You know that I think that was pretty cool of him. Uh, he did have an entire patch to himself. Well, I guess most of Amphorius did. Actually, they had like half a patch. Actually, yeah. Mm, okay, got the core flame of strife. Became the Mad King. Hmm. You know what? We'll put him somewhere below Triple S. All right, Castris. You already know what I gotta do. Wait. Okay, not that much. All right, top of Goddess. Is she? Is she above or below Acheron? Ooh. All right, these two are honestly like I don't know. They're a mismatch of who or which one I like more. I think I gotta say it. I think I like Acheron more. I don't know. Both of these two things. Oh yeah, both anniversary characters. By the way, we got anniversary character number 1 and then anniversary character number 2. Honestly, still carrying me to this day. Miss Dragon Tamer herself. You know what? Yeah, I think you know what? No, okay. You know what? Since technically Acheron is somewhat kind of a different version of Raiden Mei from Honkai Impact the Third, I think I'm gonna give it to Acheron. I think Acheron takes the #1 spot. All right, Anoxa. I'm not gonna make another tier. I put him below. I guess Sunday. Uh, you know what? I'll put him above a Goliath. I really like. You know what? Yeah, I really love Anaxagrius. I love his professor look. I love his professor vibe. You know, I loved how he basically figured out that Anthorius was just a simulation. He's was stuck inside a computer for 100 years just so he could counter like you know what? Yeah, top of S or top of triple S. Mm, I, dude, actually, hold on. Okay, now I'm kind of curious. To shoot, yeah, I really like him, but is he top 4 of triple S? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna move Robin right there. Mm, you know what? I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give our boy Anoxa top 4 of triple S. All right, Hyson, Cotton Candy Barbara. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Top of triple S. Actually, okay, was like a very, I would say, a very big player in the Anthori storyline. Got the core flame of Aquila. And that was a pretty important core flame. Honestly, I'm gonna say it. I think peak of Anthorius was 4.3. I just created an uproar. Damn. You should have saw where I had her to begin with. I have a Firefly tier and didn't even put her in there. You should see where she was at for like a solid minute. Alright, Tyson. I don't know. I like her that much, but I really don't like her that much. Like, but she, I don't, I'm sorry, I need to stop saying. You know what? I'm sorry, Hyson. You're just not it. All right, Cipher. You know what? Did a trick almost the entire of Anthorius in a good way. Got the core flame of trickery. Is basically the Flash, but died. I guess she did die too. Who was it? I forgot. The Flame Reaver. Yeah. Okay. Although I guess that was she put up a pretty good fight though. I don't know what I'm going on about. Basically, like made it so Anthorius basically got a good 1,000 years. You know what? We'll put her somewhat in the, I guess, below mid on triple S ×2. Alrighty, fine. You know what? Her reputation's carried by Ika and Aqua's corrupted fan art. I guess, yeah, Hyson is kind of a little bit carried by Ika. Mr. Big Mac. 1v9 on. Alright, Finan. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I kind of think Finan's overrated. But I still like him. I don't know. I feel like he got a little bit too edgy. Actually, hold on. He beat Maida that one time. Actually, wait, no. He lost to Maida during the Hot Springs match. You know what? Just because of that. Yeah, you know what? Just because of that. He gets above Maida. Just because he lost that one match. That's the only reason. He lost the Hot Spring match against Maida. You know, doesn't... Clearly, if you can't win against that, you clearly don't belong any higher. Let's move on. Alright, Saber. The first ever... I guess the first and only gluttony character in the game. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Not really a big Faye fan. Damn. Do you want fine and higher? I can put fine and higher. You know, convince me right now, and I'll put him higher. All right, Saber. Okay, I do have Saber. I do like the collab. I do like her old animation. You know what? Hold on. Yeah, we'll put her right behind Clara. Because Clara is basically just Fate Ilya. You know, just a different version. Alright, Archer. Also, you know what? I'm gonna put him top of amazing. I guess he does technically, in theory, say the thing. Damn. Actually, hold on. You know, yeah. Alright, just move Hyson just down one bit. Oh yeah, I forgot. Maida is basically Gilgamesh. Finding had a cool boss rush, nice OST. The Flame Reaver boss is very player friendly. True. I don't know. I just feel like at the end, Final just got like, you know, a little bit too edgy for my liking. Although I get it, you know, I feel like that would happen to anyone. You'd probably break after like the first couple of years. I don't know. All right. Next up. All right, Hyacinth. Or wait, no. High Silence. Why do they have to give everyone like such similar names? Part of the main DOT team. Uh, Wait, shoot, what's her core flame? It's not Aquila. The core flame of. Wait, is it Aquila? Did I mix up my core flames? It's not core flame of ocean, right? That's not a core flame. Hold on. You know what? I'd put her at the top of triple S, although she's not perfectly symmetrical. So just because of that. Uh. All right, she killed Sidria technically, but like you know, I count that as a W. Hmm. Well, I like her, but I don't know. I don't think she's top 10 for me. It'll put her right behind the Ghost Squad. The Moist Core Flame. What is? Wait, hold on. What is High Celen's Core Flame? It's not Core Flame of Ocean, right? Hold on. I'm actually gonna search this up. All right, so she has Halexectria. That's her real name. Uh, no, it's not. Wait, hold on. What is her core flame? What are all the core flames? She's a Chrysos hair. Why am I taking? Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. All. I just need to know what the name is, and I know exactly what it is. Hold on, probably someone said it. Okay, hold on. It is the core flame of ocean. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, so I was right. I was all like, it just can't be called the core flame of ocean. It's probably the core flame of oceanid or something like that. No, I've not seen your Archer build. What? All right, Sidria. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, kind of. You know what? She's short. She's like one of the smallest characters in the game. Just because of that. Actually, I feel like that's too high. You know, yeah, we'll put it right there. All right, Evernight. Uh, Bottom of Triple S. I'm sorry, I just really didn't like it. All right, Donkey Kong PT or our boy Terry. Honestly, I'm going to put him. Okay, you know what? I like him more than I do like him, regular Donkey Kong. I like his look, although I'm gonna be honest, there's one pet peeve I have with him. Just one. I really just don't like his tail. Like, I feel like it's way too big. Alright, Cyrene. I'm hesitant on this one. Alright, I want to put her rather below of Goddess or below God. I don't know. I like her, but like, I don't know. There's just something about it. It just, I don't know. She has like one of the crazy ultimates in the game that like goes on for like 5 million years. You know what? We'll put her in the middle of God. All right, hold on. I'll respond once I'm done with it. All right, we're almost done. All right, next up, Dahlia. Her back must hurt for carrying the entirety of Break archetype. What? Okay, I did really like her in 4.8. But how much do I? You know what? Hold on. You know what? Why not? I have my entire break team right beside each other. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Let's. You know, yeah. There we go. My entire break team right there. Rappa, Dahlia, and Linksha. That's the entirety of my break team right there. All right. Yai. Uh. I guess Sabin 4.0. She's a general. A Lafu. Not strong, physically strong, but I would say like strong in her divination. So she can hold her own. I don't know. I feel like there's isn't much to go off right now. Yeah, all we know is that she's a like top diviner and she's a general of the whatever part of the thing she is. She's yeah, one of the 4 generals. I just feel like there's isn't too much about her right now. Like yeah, the only time we oh yeah, I guess we've seen her in name only before 4.0 and then we saw her. All right, Sparksy. Where did I put Sparkle? I'm gonna be honest, kind of really don't like her. I prefer the original Sparkle over Sparksy. We'll put it right there, one below Sparkle. All right, our boy Asheville. I don't know. Also, I guess yeah, I haven't done the newest patch. We're currently on 4.1. We saw her. Yeah, all I know is that he slept in the freezer the first time we saw him, and he was a detective. Oh yeah, and he's also a supplicant of the Plan Arcadia games. Uh, hold on. Let me move some people around. All right, yeah, there we go. Whatever I said. All right, Silverwolf 999. Okay, hold on. There's so little to go off right now. But okay, so she's a supplicant of the of the Phantasm Moon games. So yeah, all we gotta go off is just Silverwolf. You know what? For right now, I'll put her above Silverwolf base. Although, oh dude, I really like her animations though. She's an anniversary character. You know what? I'll put her at the yeah somewhere mid to below triple S times two. All right, last character we've got Evanessa. Again, just like Silverwolf 999. Maybe like really isn't much to go off of. Just I guess vibes alone. Yeah, she gave us our mask during the Phantasm Moon games. And yeah, that's it. That's all I ever know about her. Oh yeah, I guess she's like a different version of Yai Sakura. We'll put her right beside March 7th. Do I like this tier list? You know what? For the most part, I think I gotta agree. Although there is one thing I'm missing. All right, you'll stay there. Alrighty. Do I agree with this? You know, yeah, for the most part, yep. Alrighty, I think that is my tier list for now. I guess yeah, there's still more characters to come up. I guess there's Neluke's Blade SP. I forgot what other characters. Wait, hold on. Is that the only characters in Planet Arcadia or the entirety of 4.0? Just Niluke's and Blade SP? No. There's got to be something more, right? Oh, you're telling me March 7th or Evanescence just March 7th before. You know what? Hold on. We'll put her above March 7th. I don't know. There's really nothing. Yeah, all I know is she gave us our mask. Actually, I'll search this up later. Okay, I think that's the end of my tier list. Kind of all over the place, considering I have two triple S's. I don't. There are a couple characters I maybe want to move up one or down, or up one or two spots. But I think for the most part, yeah. Uh, yeah. So, you know, I think this is. I don't know. There's just like I feel like there's one character that I just want to move. I don't know who though. I kind of gave a little explanation where I put them. Kind of. Oh wait, no, Himiko SP wasn't a character. You know, all right, this I've already spent an hour on this. I'm just making this tier list alone. I'm not gonna spend any more. All right, here it is. Let me know down below if you agree or not. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace.